Was good. Was good. Yeah, YouTube was on some bullshit. They were on that bullshit. Fucking banned me for a week. They were on that bullshit like always. Yeah. And funny thing, something funny happened. You know that YouTube shadow banning video that I made a couple months ago? The video where I was breaking down how YouTube is shadow banning people? Tell me why that just yesterday, a day before my ban got unlifted, they sent me a fucking email talking about how we just made this video no longer viewable for under 18. Even though your channel is, we did not give you a strike, but nobody under 18 could watch it. That's what they said. And it's funny how they're still fucking with that video, because when I made that video, literally when I ended that live stream, like a few hours later, they sent me a fucking email talking about how that we're gonna have to not demonetize me, but they're gonna have to um pretty much like what they would they demonetize somebody, they demonetize a person who wasn't monetized. So what that looks like is they're gonna make it where you don't get as much views or your subscribers don't go up. Or I'll post the email on my community. They were on some bullshit, and this was right after I made that video. And this was back in November. It was November 14th when I made that video. So tell me why it's 2 months later and they're still giving me some bullshit on the same fucking video. And I'm like, so obviously something in that video they didn't like. So I'm gonna repost that video on my communities tab so you guys can see what I said in that video. And yeah, because for some reason they don't like that video. They've been really attacking my shit over that video. Shit's crazy. And yeah, I got a lot of shit I gotta talk about. I'm gonna start fucking changing up how I do my shit from now on. I have all my shit written down. I got all my shit written down. I got pages. So yeah, it's all written down. So I have points. Since all you niggas don't want to fucking ask me goddamn questions and engage, I got talking points where I'm gonna hit on. And yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna start doing from now on. So yeah, I got a lot of shit I want to talk about, to be honest. A lot of shit that's been going on mentally that it's just weird, man. Like I'm starting to have a lot of realizations. One thing, when you fast and you heal the body, like a lot of these stupid motherfuckers out here, I don't want to call them stupid because everybody has their own thing what they're doing. A lot of motherfuckers out here want to make you think that spirituality and finding um who you are has to do with something that's so-called like meditation or spirituality or all this other shit, where some of the times that is the case, but some of the time just taking care of your health, just taking care of your business in real life, that actually helps you get what these people call downloads. And it ain't even a fucking download. Like, I hate that fucking word. It's actually you remembering everything you're supposed to remember and know. So that's really what it is. But since I have a North Node in Capricorn, a lot of the ways I get my information is by actually just taking care of my shit and handling my shit in everyday life. So when I handle my shit in everyday life, the spirit will grant me gifts that are like spiritual and knowledge and other things, and it will just come to me and shit. So I've been like taking care of my health, because when I go on these long fasts, that's when I get the most downloads and information. Like, that's how I get a lot of the shit that I know is from going on my long fast. It's not like I just study and read. Not that I don't ever read or research or none, but a lot of the shit I get, I'll be on a fast and I just remember something. Just like you left your key, like you forgot where you placed your keys. Like, where are my keys at? And then you go and you find your keys. You're like, oh yeah, I remember I put it there. Just like you have that aha moment when you find something you lost. That's how I have my aha moment when I get my fucking information. I don't know it, and then I'm doing things to actually put in the work physically, and then I'll just know some shit. So that's really what it is, because you really already remember all this shit. Just like if you watch that fucking movie, the fucking Transformer movie with that one nigga. And remember, he was writing all the symbols on the walls and shit after he touched that fucking cube. And it's something like that. You just know some shit and you just tapped in. So Like I only get it when I go on my long extended fast. Like when I do that shit. Like that's when I really, I don't want to say I only get it, but like that's when it hits me when I go on my long extended fast. I just got off a 10-day fast right now. I was fasting the whole time I was on my fucking YouTube, my YouTube block streak, whatever these bullshit niggas was on. I was fasting for 10 days. I started 3 days before that, and then I was gonna end it, but then they banned me, and I was like, let me just do this fast, and then I just did it the whole day. I was like, I'm gonna come back and end it. I ended it yesterday, so yeah, I got a lot of points I want to talk about in this video. What's good with everyone? I see everybody in the room. There's a few genuine human beings, few and far between. No real human being has ever. Yeah, but okay, so don't. Okay, this is what I want to talk about, because some of the stuff I talk about in my videos, you guys need to understand that I'm not speaking to everyone. If you resonate with it, then you resonate. If you don't resonate, that means I'm not speaking to you, because we're all doing something different, and we're not all the same. So when I say certain things, don't think this applies to everybody, because you'll see somebody who'll sit there and tell you that, oh, this isn't right, and then your dumbass will go and listen to they stupid ass, and then what they're doing is right, but what you're supposed to be doing is not right, because you're listening to somebody who's doing something that they're supposed to do. So don't this doesn't apply to everyone. Understand that my channel is not for everyone. My shit's too deep. My shit goes like it's not even just deep from a knowledge point. It's deep as in like actually getting rid of your desires and taking action, which I don't even think I see anybody on YouTube really on that fucking level other than like Buddhist monks. And that's on the physical side, because there's the physical and you got the knowledge side. You can have all the fucking knowledge you want, but if you don't have both, which I don't see both in this reality. When I go into the breatharian, pranic, Buddhist type of community and I see what they're doing, because they'll have breatharian and qigong techniques that I'll listen to, and I'll see them. They have all the information on how to get rid of desires and how to get rid of food and live off liquids, but they don't have the esoteric knowledge. But then I go into the esoteric spiritual people. They have the esoteric knowledge and everything, but then they're still to the desire. So there's no mixture in this shit. I don't think I've seen it. It's either people have all the knowledge and they know spiritual and they have their inner desires, and then they'll use the esoteric knowledge to make an excuse why it's okay to be their desires and act like it's not a desire. But or it will be the people who are breatharian, and they'll have all the fucking knowledge. They'll have all the knowledge on how to get healthy and they'll be healed, but then they'll be fucking retards and idiots and they don't know anything. They're quoting Buddha, they're quoting Lao Tzu and Socrates and all these fucking pedophile faggots that were Basins and whatever. Like they're quoting people like that, thinking that's wisdom and knowledge, but it's like, nigga, that's the same people who are pretty much putting the blockages in your life. So we don't have no mixture of the knowledge and the discipline and the health, and it's not that really that mixture. So I'm like the only one I see trying to actually do that. I'm not saying I'm perfect and I'm the best, or because a lot of motherfuckers get upset and in their ego, but I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. So that's what I'm seeing. A lot of people, they don't understand. Like, so the first thing I want to talk about is, don't let anyone tell you you can't remove all desires. You really don't need anything. And I put in quotations, this doesn't apply to all. This doesn't apply to all. So you don't need anything. You don't need food. You don't need water. Once you get to a certain level, because right now, the human being, we're changing our DNA. Everything is changing, and we're not going to be the human being right now is not going to be the same human being in 40, 50 years. It's going to change. So right now, you don't need anything. To understand that as a human, you don't need shit. You don't need food, water. You don't, and it is eventually going to get to where you won't even feel cold. It's going to get to that point once you build the energy. So you don't need anything. I'm not saying we're going to be living butt naked, not just don't. No, this is as a protection, just in case you got to move around a certain way. You have that protection, so you don't need anything. Doesn't mean you can't dabble in shit, but when you're dabbling in it, then you can get rid of it. You see what I'm saying? So you don't need anything. And eventually it'll get to a point, if you built the energy, where you don't even want anything really. Like you don't even fucking desire certain shit. Like I told you guys back in the day that breatharianism that when you are breatharian, you can dabble in and you can eat food whenever you want. It's about having a pleasure experience. That is kind of a point to a degree. To a degree, that is kind of like it makes sense. But once you're really on this path, you won't even want food. Food will probably actually make you feel weighed down. Just like some of you niggas who don't get high, some of you niggas who don't smoke or you don't do hard drugs. If you did a hard drug, it's gonna weigh you down, and you're gonna feel weighed down and lazy and have a hangover. That's how food is once you get on the breatharian. So this tells you that you don't need everything. No, we don't need anything. All desires you need to remove. A lot of people think that they don't have problems with desires, but whatever you're doing right now that you love, I don't give a fuck if it's guitar, I don't give a fuck if it's smoking, video games, I don't care if it's anything. If you can't stop right now, if you can't stop right now, if you can't give up food for 20 hours right now, if you can't give up playing video games for a week right now, video games, you don't need it. You can live without video games. So you can easily give up video games for 30 days. If I say give up food for 30 days, that's questionable. If I say give up food for even 2 days, some people can't do it, which is understandable. But you can give up video games for 30, 40, 50 days easily. And if you can't, you have problems with desires and issues. And I don't care what knowledge you have. If you can't give up something so simple like that, or give up something that you love to do that's not for your spiritual path, something that's just a hobby, if you just can't give it up right now, you have a problem with desires. And that's not really spiritual. A lot of you niggas think you're spiritual. That's not really spiritual. And I'm not hating on anyone, because I'm still working on doing my shit. So I'm not saying I'm perfect or what. I'm just telling you niggas what is. And this doesn't apply to everyone, because like I said, everybody's on a different level. Some spirits are weaker than others. Some people got weak ass bitch spirits. Some people got stronger spirits. So this is it, it, this only applies to those who it applies to. Don't think that I'm talking to everyone. And usually people who don't resonate won't even be attracted to this video. So I just got to put that out there, because some people, they need to be in their desires. Some people, they can't help it. And that's dumb, because they came here to learn. So who am I to tell them that they need to stop or whatever? But those people really aren't in a position to be teaching anybody anything spiritual, though, because if you can't even get rid of something like that, then how can you talk about anything spiritual? Because when your back is against the wall, then all that knowledge is going to go out the window, because you can't even handle certain things, like getting rid of certain desires that you have, because so that shows you're not really in control of your nervous system. So if something were to happen very traumatically or very in depth in your life, your nervous system will overrule you to make a decision you don't need to be making, because you can't even get rid of your desires right now. Because you not being able to get rid of your desires all stems from you not wanting to experience certain stimuli within the nervous system that's going to make you quote unquote uncomfortable. Nobody wants to feel that. So you're going to make reasons and rationalizations why it's okay to be in your desires, which that's what people do. And they'll use esoteric knowledge and information and spiritual knowledge and all this new age shit to be like, oh, it's okay, we can do this, it's just about this and having balance and stuff. And which, yeah, it is. But yeah, it's about having balance and stuff. But at the same time, do we need to have balance having balance? Or sometimes like, is it okay to, because if you have balance having balance, that means sometimes you don't have balance, because they say have balance with everything. So if that's the case, then should I be balanced being balanced? And if that's the case, then that means I could be not balanced sometimes. No one thinks about it like that. So we gotta see, sometimes you need to go the fuck all in. Sometimes some people don't need to be motherfucker balanced. Some people need to be hardcore. Some people need to be balanced. Some people need to not be hard. So it just depends on whatever the fuck you need to be. That's what you guys gotta use, your discretion, your spiritual knowledge, and know self, so you can know what you're coming down to. So that's the first thing motherfuckers need to do, is start getting rid of desires. Start simple. Imagine you like taking a certain route to work because it's a shortcut, whatever. Try taking a long road or something, or take a road you don't like, or you don't like going over. You're like, or you're not left-handed. Use things with your left hand. It's uncomfortable. Like, do things like that to kind of like trigger your mind be to not be in your desires, doing things you really fully want. I know one, when you're eating food, let's just say you're very, very hungry. When you're eating food and you're very hungry, in the middle of your food while you're enjoying it, or your last bite of your meal, instead of eating it, just throw some of it away. Like, let's just say you're hungry and you haven't ate all day. You ate like a pizza. Eat like half the pizza and then throw it away, even though you're not hungry or some shit. Even though you still want to eat more. Like, do shit like that. Like, that gotta trick your mind to not want to train your body to get rid of desires. Or when you're enjoying a first bite of your meal, just spit it out and then take another bite. Like, do shit to like kind of disrupt that pleasure and like things like that to kind of program the subconscious. So that's the first thing. Get rid of desires. There's a lot of shit I want to talk about. A lot of shit I got to talk about in this video. And because I'm gonna be going all over the place, because how my channel operates is I don't operate any other way. The only reason I put points down so I'll be able to get on what I want to talk about. So I'm gonna be going all over the place because I really don't give a fuck. Just take the information, skip the video, and get the information and get the parts, because I'm not doing shit professional or by the blueprint. I don't give a fuck to do that. As a matter of fact, I deliberately try not to do that because I don't give a fuck about doing that. So the next thing I want to talk about why most people are miserable in this world. It stems to the first thing. Everybody's in their fucking desires. Every single person you see, they're a slave to their desires. Every single person you see. The reason you see people driving on the road, the reason you see people going into the store, the reason you see people doing the shit they do is not for any spiritual reason. 99% of the time. 99% of the time is because they're an addict. Everybody's a drug addict. Some people are drug addict to fucking drugs. Some people are drug addict to watching a football game. Some people are drug addict to getting money so they can go to the beach and go surfing. Everyone's a drug addict to their desires. So a lot of people, their misery stems from not being fulfilled. So when you can't be fulfilled, you're miserable. And a lot of people, they're not fulfilled because the life they're living is not allowing them to actually do what they want to do. And when they do it, they never get fulfilled because they don't have the spiritual intention and aspect. And if you don't have the spiritual intention and aspect, you can never be fulfilled. Even if you try, like, you'll be doing things in life to make you fulfilled, and you'll be actually doing it, but then the spirit will fuck with your nervous system and make it where you don't enjoy it. So it doesn't seem to. So this is why everyone's miserable, because it's like a carrot on a stick. People are trying to get, so no one's fulfilled. So they can't keep doing it over and over, and then they die unfulfilled, and then this leads them to come back. So this is why everyone's miserable. And when people are miserable, they're trying to remedy that feeling of misery. So they try to go after their desires even harder. But when you go after your desires with no spiritual intention, then that's going to leave you unfulfilled. And then the spirit is not going to allow you to be fully fulfilled. And even sometimes, let's just say sometimes you will get fulfilled by that situation. It will create an event to make you upset. So let's just say you win, something happens where you get some good news. Next week or next month, something might happen where it's a tragic moment, and then that feeling of tragedy overcomes the feeling, so you forget about the goods because you're not doing it right. So everything just, you see what I'm saying? Like, and then you will say it's gang stalking. Oh, why every time this happens? And where in reality, it's like you weren't playing the program right. Like, you weren't doing the shit right, the way the shit is designed in the reality. Like, you didn't have no spiritual intention. And then you call it gang stalking. In reality, that's not really what it is. Because if you've been experienced what you call gang stalking for all these fucking years, nigga, like, you will at least think that, okay, it must be something I'm doing. Because you see what I'm saying? It may be something I can change. How can you think somebody just after you, and that makes fucking retarded? So that's why people are miserable. It goes more than that, but I'm just trying to hit on these real quick. So the human species is a demonic species, the same as a rodent. A lot of people look at rodents and bugs and insects like they're less than a human. And on a spiritual evolutionary ladder, obviously. But you guys got to understand that human beings really ain't shit, because to a rodent or to a rat or a bugs or whatever, they think they're smarter than humans. Like, what makes you think the bugs is looking at humans like they're more intelligent? Like, that don't make sense. How do you know that? You don't know that. So they don't, the same way you don't give a fuck about a bug or an animal can give a fuck about you. That's why they'll go and eat your ass to get something to eat. So every species in this reality is demonic. We live in a demonic ass world. Nobody is is not what you think it is. So you need to understand that. So when you're dealing with people, it's always going to be some toxicity when you're dealing with people. This is why you always want to have a spiritual intention and a plan when you're dealing with people, because it doesn't matter what you're dealing with, family, friends, whatever. Toxicity will always come out because on a spiritual level, everyone is demonic. Everybody has that toxicity within them. So a lot of people who get upset, like my videos, I'm real because I be real and I be telling you what it is. Other people, they don't want to tell you what it is because they're trying to have a facade they have a facade, like they might be a Gemini or some shit, or they may be like a Sag or some type of alignment where they have to put on a front that everything is good and it's all good and optimism, but in reality it isn't. And there's nothing wrong with being optimized and optimism, but the problem is these people, they're very angry and then they cover it with optimism. So when they go out in public, they don't understand there's people like me who can read that. And when I see shit like that, I play on that so I can bring that out. And that's why those motherfucking niggas don't like to be around me, because I don't have to be disrespectful. I be annoying. That's the best way to be disrespectful without being disrespectful, is be annoying. Ask a lot of questions and just be very annoying, but do it with a deliberate intention. That's how you can expose a lot of these people. And there's plenty of other ways, but that's one of the best ways I like doing it, is to be very annoying. That's how you be disrespectful without being disrespectful, because you don't want to go up and be like, fuck you, you bitch ass nigga. That's being disrespectful. But if you want to disrespect somebody without disrespecting him like that, ask him a lot of questions and be hella annoying and just keep talking and add a nasally tone to your voice and keep talking and that will annoy the fuck out of somebody. So that's some of the mind control program you can learn if you want to if you want to disrespect somebody without disrespecting them, especially asking them a lot of questions. So the reason I do this, because human beings be on that demonic shit. So when they be on that demonic shit, nigga, I'll be on some demonic shit too. But I play, like, I do it in a different way because I have an Aquarius stellium, so I play a lot of mind game. I know how to play fucking mind games. So yeah, most humans are demonic, and they're no different than a rodent. To be honest, you're no better. Don't think that you're better than this or that, because at the end of the day, we all on a spiritual mission, getting to what we want to get to. You fuck around too much, that rodent or that fucking animal is gonna supersede you in the evolutionary ladder, because you're gonna fuck around, become that, and then that's gonna become human and do what you should have been doing, and then it's gonna evolve and supersede you. So then that is a thing, and that's happened actually. That has actually happened. The fuck. So you don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, you got to know what's going on, because you can't actually go back to being an animal or a human or a bug, depending on the mindset you're in this life. Because when you die, you're going to your mind. You're going to your mind when you die. There's nowhere else to fucking go. Like, where are you gonna go? You can only go to your mind. Like, when you leave your house, do you leave your house and say, I'm gonna leave my house and I'm gonna be in Candyland or some dumb shit? No, you leave your house, you say, I'm gonna be in my front yard. You can't leave your house and say, I'm gonna be in Candyland, because it doesn't make sense. It's not it hasn't been created. So what makes you think when you die you're gonna go to a place that has not been created? You can only go to a place that's been created, which is your mind. So there ain't, like I'm telling you, there is nowhere to go. Your whole concept of thinking like, I'm gonna go somewhere, where is it created, is it made, or is it just in your mind and shit? So you only go into your mind. You're not going anywhere else. Anywhere else you even think that is outwards is really yourself. So let's just say you go to some other fairy tale shit, whatever, in your imagination, that's in your mind, and eventually you're gonna have to come back here, because it's not real. You're gonna have to reincarnate in a body. It's gonna end up leading into the same, that it's gonna turn into a hell, and then you're gonna end up leaving that fucking that mindset and coming back into a body and shit. So so there ain't nowhere to fucking go. So always remember that. Oh, come on. Are you fucking kidding me? Shit. I just dropped my pen. My pen I used to write shit, I just dropped it in fucking the puddle. It's raining and shit. It was raining and I dropped it in the puddle, so hold on. I'm gonna just throw this shit in the garbage and just steal another one. I'm gonna just steal another one. I'm gonna throw that shit away. Oh shit, yeah, dude. I gotta tell you niggas what happened. This stupid old ass cracker at the store. I was fucking clowning his ass. Like, I guess because I went to the store right to go get some shit. And then this stupid ass nigga, right? I seen this nigga plenty of times before. He told me not to come back. He's like, don't come back. And I was like, nigga, fuck you. I'll come back. I went back and he seen me and he didn't say nothing. But yesterday, I concealed something and this bitch ass nigga seen me. And he's like, he's like, oh, we're not having it today. Give it here. Give it here. And I'm like, nigga, get the fuck out my way. He's like, oh, we're not having today. So he was just literally in my way. And he's like telling everyone, call the fucking police. Call the fucking police. And I was like, oh, I didn't get the fuck up out of here. So I gave him the shit, right? And then I spit a big ass loogie right on like it was all on the sodas and shit. And then this stupid bitch ass nigga, right? He's all like, he tried to spit at me and then he missed. He spit at me, he missed, and I got one of the sodas that was on the counter and I shook it and I sprayed that shit in his face. I'm like, you stupid old ass nigga. You a balding old ass cracker. This is exactly what I said to him. I'm like, you a balding old ass cracker nigga. You should be on looking like you should be on Wall Street or you should be commuting on your way to the fucking Bay Area to go make some fucking money. But instead your ass is fucking working at Walgreens in the motherfucking hood, you bum ass nigga. How you a white man? I was clowning this nigga in front of the whole fucking store and I sprayed that fucking soda everywhere. I cussed that bitch ass nigga out. Like, for real, like this shit happened yesterday too. I was in chill mode too. I was just relaxing and chilling. Like every time when I'm in chill mode, I don't want to say nothing because I don't want to manifest something. But when I'm in chill mode and I'm just relaxing, niggas be on some bullshit. So it's like, yeah, that nigga's stupid. And he's like, oh, don't come here again. I went there last night because that store is open 24 hours. Like, bitch, you don't work here 24 hours. So I'll just come here when you're not working here, you fucking idiot. But I just want to tell you niggas, I just remembered that because what I just said. But that shit was some funny ass shit though. I cussed that nigga out in front of everyone. The fucking dude that was waiting in line, he was laughing and shit too. It was like the nigga, he was in the back. He was waiting. He heard me cussing his ass. He was laughing like fuck. Nigga was recording and shit too. Like somebody was recording. That shit was funny as fuck. But yeah, I want to talk about, okay, social media is dead. And when I say social media is dead, I'm not talking about it as in terms of making money. You can make money off social media, but social media is dead as in everything besides making money on social media, that's dead. So knowledge, information, all that shit, that's just dead on social media. It's gonna it's gonna get worse. Right now, you might say, "Oh, no, there's information out," but it's gonna get worse. They're gonna start eliminating shit, and pretty soon, nothing on social media is gonna be legit other than just bullshit. But social media is dead. If you want to prosper in this year, you're gonna have to sell out if you want to prosper on social media this year, if you don't have a spiritual mission. So if you have a spiritual mission, this doesn't apply to you because the spiritual energy can power through the bullshit. Like these Masons and these well, I can't talk too much shit because they banned my channel because I said something about the small dick fallen spiritual race, the ones that are very, very fallen and low and they got small dicks. I said something about them and they got upset, so I can't say it. But in this year 2024, you need to understand that my bad guys, my internet fucked up. But you gotta have to sell out if you're not on the spiritual path. So and the coming years, all of these people talking about, oh, I'm gonna be a millionaire on YouTube, or I'm gonna be a content creator, I'm gonna be like, shut your stupid ass up. You ain't about to be shit. Because in order to actually be anything in reality, not even just content creator and internet, but just in reality, in order to really accumulate anything, you have to put in the energetic work, whether it be spiritual or energetic. You got to put hours and energy into it so it can actually accumulate to be physical. So let me give you an example. There was this one live stream gamer that I seen years ago, and this nigga had like over 1 million subscribers. He was making hella money playing fucking, I forgot what game it was, but he was playing a game. Yeah, it was Rainbow Six. He was playing, he was making millions doing that. And somebody was clowning him. They're like, nigga, you're a fucking loser. You have 408 days of playtime on this video game. And he was clowning him how much he spends his life. But in my mind, I'm like, video games is what he does. So he needs to, in order for him to be a streamer, a gamer, he'll need to put in the energetic work to be that. You can't just say, I want to be a gamer, I like the game. You have to put in the work. He played games for just having one. There's games I played for years, and I only accumulated like 2 days of playtime. This nigga had 408 days of playtime on a fucking video game in like a few years. So this nigga was playing on average at least 16 hours plus every day consecutively. He had to be. So people were making fun of him, but the dude making fun of him wasn't even in a position like he was in. So I'm not saying it's just about playing game. Obviously, it's other shit, but he couldn't be a big player in it if he wouldn't put in the energetic work to have it accumulate. So take that example and put it in with everything. So in this year, beyond, you can't accumulate shit unless you have the back end work. So whatever you're doing, you have to put in the energy work. So like me, I'm fasting, I'm healing. I've been doing this shit since I've been doing yoga since 2021. I haven't just started this shit yesterday. I just been doing this shit since 2021. So I've accumulated a lot of energy from doing yoga, which I can bring into right now. If I just started doing yoga 2 months ago, there's certain things I wouldn't have as a result from yoga. I would have to get it another way, or I would have done yoga for 2 years or whatever. So you have to put in the work for anything you have to do. If you haven't started and you don't know what work it is, then you're kind of behind and you're going to have to put in work. Don't think you're going to become great and just not just get into something. Like you can't look and be like, oh, I want to get into this industry, or I want to be a streamer, or I want to be, and you can't just get into some shit thinking that that's all it takes. Because once you get into it, you're going to feel like you're not getting enough commissions, or you're not getting enough views, or it's going to be some shit like that. And then you're going to think you're gang stalked and they're fucked. But in reality, it's just you're not putting in the energy because you don't really control your life like you think you do. You do, but you don't. And this world, it doesn't really fully belong to you. So you guys gotta understand there's a lot of shit going on. You have to, you came here to pretty much do what you got to do. Just like you got to go to work and clock in and then you have something to do. A lot of you niggas think when you quit working that you don't have to work again in your life. No, you have to work. Spirituality is work. So you have to do it. And I'm not saying some people say, oh, don't look at it like work. But who the fuck said that you got to look at work negative? I could look at work like a good thing. That's a thing with people. People would be like, spirituality doesn't have to be looked at by like work. You never want to look at anything like work, or you don't want to, or you can. Life is not about having fun. Life is about having fun 24/7, and life is also about working 24/7. Who the fuck said I can't be happy while I'm working, or who said I can't be happy if somebody stole some money from me? Who the fuck said that? That's you who come up with that explanation. You see what I'm saying? You could be happy any fucking time you want to be. When you're on alcohol and somebody does something, you're not as upset as when you're sober. So why can't you trick your mind and do energetic work or figure something out to be able to do that in real life? You can do that shit. You can. That's why I say life. You're supposed to be happy all the time. Even when you're not happy, you could be happy. The fuck? That's what a lot of you niggas don't understand it because you haven't done energetic work. But life is supposed to be like that. And because I'll tell people spirituality is about working. And just because you quit your 9 to 5 doesn't mean you don't have to work, because you still got to do the spiritual work. And then they'll be like, oh, I still got to do it. But who said that that's bad? Like, you can still be happy doing that shit. So you guys got to understand, like, what's going on. Life is it's supposed to be easy, it's supposed to be happy, and it's supposed to be all that shit. Anybody that tells you otherwise, they just saying that because they haven't really tapped in to actually be able to. Because every person telling you that life is not supposed to be good or happy all the time, they're looking at from a basis of the external controlling their emotions. Who said just because I said that life is supposed to be happy, some of you dumb niggas think that nothing bad happens in my life. But in reality, if something bad happens, I could still be happy. If I'm doing the energetic work and I'm on my frequency, I have a high frequency, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, it shouldn't affect me. And if it does affect me, it's only because it's part of my spiritual mission. So maybe I was supposed to feel angry and upset and feel depressed. So when I feel happy, I'll be even happier. So it's always for a reason. And me knowing that when I'm depressed and angry, I can still find happiness in that. And I'll realize, okay, it's nothing. And I said another thing right here is, well, just contradicted what the fuck I just said. So I'm not gonna. No, that was something else. I was like, why did I write that down? That was for something else. But oh yeah, TikTok. It goes to my social media is dead. TikTok is the least spiritual social media site yet. 99% of the people on that website are inept. Do not go to TikTok for your social media, for your spiritual information. I'm not saying everybody on there is, because if I go on that bitch, then obviously that statement I just said would change because I'll be fucking on there. So, but always keep in mind when you're on TikTok that 99% of people on TikTok, they're inept. I was on TikTok. I just downloaded the TikTok app because I'm gonna be making TikTok videos. God damn it! Fuck. I just I just made I just started making I just made my TikTok and I was on there just scrolling through the videos, and I fucking hate the way the layout is because when you swipe, they show you the next video. I don't like that because I like to see the thumbnail before I watch a video. I don't just like to watch a video without seeing the thumbnail. I can't just, because it's like, it's fucking like, it's gonna, because 99% of the shit that I consume on the internet, I despise and I don't even want in my consciousness. So when I'm swiping up and I don't get to see the thumbnail before I click, I end up seeing some bullshit I don't want to see. So that's one thing I don't like about TikTok is you, even though you can make it where you can see the thumbnail, I hate how they have it default where you have to swipe up to see a video because I don't like that shit because I always see some shit I don't want to fucking see. So when I was on TikTok, right, I was seeing a lot of fucking the people talking about spirituality and astrology. And first of all, I don't know what it is, but every like bitch on fucking TikTok has like 20 pounds of makeup on. I don't know what the fuck is the deal with that. Like, is really like, I don't know. There's certain simple weird things I see on TikTok I don't see other places. Like a lot of the people on TikTok, especially like the women, like they be just on some like masculine weird shit, like they know something because they don't. Because you guys gotta understand, like women are pretty much useless men. A man is supposed to build. A man is supposed to come up with ideas. Women nowadays, they act like men, but without the benefits. It's just like drinking water, but not being able to quench your thirst. Like, what's the point? Like, why be a man if you're not going to be a full man? Like, you're just going to use your masculine energy just for stupid shit. Like, for an example, you'll see a bitch who acts masculine who could talk a bunch of shit that means absolutely nothing, and they'll go work a job as a manager and work at a warehouse, which that's useless. We don't need a warehouse worker. We don't need any of that shit. But these same women can't come up with new ideas. When's the last time you seen a female come up with an idea or to build? But yet damn near every woman acts like a man. You don't see any females coming up with ideas on how to build or new structures or that, because that's not feminine, which is normal. They're not supposed to do that. But why is it they want to do the shit? They want to do the shit that men can do. That's for pussy, like pussy men do. Like they go want to work a warehouse job, or want to do construction, want to go fucking do other useless shit, be a manager at a fucking fast food joint. They will do useless shit on that pussy ass men would do, but they can't do shit that real men would do, like go and build a structure or go and build fucking create an idea or come up with a concept or a theory that can just blow everybody. They can't do that because they're, like I said, most women are useless men. So this brings me back to TikTok. Most of the women I see on there, they're just like, they act like they're just really dumb and they act like useless men. They're very masculine. They always want to talk and speak and move their hands a lot, but at the same time, they're not coming up with no fucking idea. They're not coming up with nothing interesting. So this tells me that, and I'm not bashing on the women because I know a lot of females. I'm not bashing. I'm just talking about certain type of women. So this tells me that a lot of people on TikTok, because TikTok has a certain energy, and I feel like the women that go on TikTok, they're more lost. They're more in their masculine energy in the useless way. Because there's nothing wrong with being masculine, but at least like if you're a female and you got to be masculine and create an idea. Because we need ideas in this world. Don't be a useless masculine, which like 99% of women are. So what that looks like is what it looks like on TikTok. A bunch of bitches is talking shit. Don't be that. Like I fucking hate that shit. And this is not just the women. The reason I said that because there's a lot of women I see that are mainly on there. I didn't really see no men. There's just a lot of bitches on there. But one thing I see, even the men on there, like everybody on there on TikTok is fucking retarded. Like pretty much Anunnaki, aliens, conspiracy theories, new age bullshit, spirituality, all of that shit wrapped up in a ball is pretty much what TikTok is. And it's so sensationalized and trendy that that's what really gets views. Like I don't see no deep esoteric knowledge on there. I'm not saying it is, but there isn't because I haven't really been on it. But when I went on there, it seemed like it's pretty much a watered down YouTube when it comes to knowledge. Ain't nobody really speaking shit on there, and everything is just based on looks. So that's one thing I realized about TikTok. It's all a bunch of useless ass information or people that, because you guys gotta understand, nobody is coming up with their own ideas when it comes to knowledge and wisdom. Everybody is just copying the Masonic blueprint. Understand that. When you watch somebody and they talk about Anunnaki, they talk about aliens, they talk about the beings that are going to be coming back and returning, and Mother Earth and Gaia, they speak this stupid fucking shit. Understand, this is from a Masonic blueprint. Always ask yourself, where do people get the word Gaia from? You didn't come out talking about Gaia. Where do people even get the word, even chakras? That's a word that was created. That's an Indian type of word. That's from the Indian Hindu type of spirituality, chakra. A lot of people don't understand it because everybody just uses the fucking word. Because some of these words we need to use, which I'm not hating, but you guys need to understand, like a lot of what people are saying is part of that Masonic blueprint that they want you to copy. So when you're copying the Masonic blueprint, it's just going to lead you not getting anywhere in life. This is why you see most spiritualists, they talk this spiritual shit, but they still work a 9 to 5. They're not actually doing that. And there's nothing, not even just we're working 9 to 5. They're not doing shit like spiritually. Like me, I talk about fasting and breatharianism. And when I speak about this shit, the people, they look at me like I'm crazy, or they look at it like I can't do it, or you won't be able to do it. And that only thing that tells me that they can't do it. Anytime somebody tells you they can't do something, that's letting you know that they can't do it. So this shows me that most people, they're not spiritual. They don't know anything, and everything is just copied straight from that Masonic blueprint. They want you. This is why they'll promote people on YouTube who speak about the Masonic blueprint more than anything else. When you talk about the Masonic blueprint, they'll promote your channel more. When you talk about spirituality with the Masonic blueprint and religion, they'll even boost you more. If you guys don't take me for, if you guys think I'm just bullshitting, you look up that, I don't want to give nobody no shout out, but there's plenty of channels on here that they're an example. And I've named them in my the video my first video that's on this channel was a live stream I did at the house I was staying at. I said a few YouTubers, content creators name that are example. Check out that video. I'm not dropping any more names anymore because at the end of the day, this is my fucking channel and this is it. I only people I give a shout out, people who gave me a shout out, who've been on my channel, and I see them in the comments and they got their own content. I'm gonna give you a shout out. So shout out to Moody Mercury, shout out to whoever, or Jay Vass, the people who make content and they support. I support them, but as far as that, I don't support anyone else. Doesn't mean I don't watch them, and the fuck, like I watch them. YouTube's here for everyone, so everybody's watching this shit. So I'm not gonna sit there and say I don't watch them, but I'm not gonna sit there and give no shout outs to anyone because it makes no sense. Because once you realize that everybody's in their ego, then you guys will understand what I'm fucking talking about. Some people, you just like everyone. I don't really want to get into that. I'll get into that later, but just understand everybody's on that Masonic blueprint. That they're on that bullshit. And when you try to go off, when you try to create your own blueprint, they don't like that. Like I said in one of my videos, it's not a lot of you guys think that the Masons are just looking to censor truth. That's most of it, and that's a big part of it. But they also want to censor certain individuality and certain uniqueness. So you could be talking about something that isn't really truthful, or it can kind of be part of their Masonic blueprint. But if you come at it in a certain way and you act a certain way that they don't like, then they're gonna they're gonna block you. Like, and when I say this, like when you think a certain way, when you're thinking in a circle instead of that square, then they don't like that. So this is why they will ban certain people and shadow ban people. And these people weren't even talking about truth, is because their individuality is so powerful, it can actually spark people to think a certain way. And from people thinking a certain way, they're going to be able to use that same way of thinking to decipher the programs. Because that's how I was able to do it. I developed a certain way of thinking, and then I use the thinking to decipher the program. So that's how I was able to understand certain things more. They don't want that. So it's not just about censoring truth, it's censoring certain ways of people thinking so other people don't adapt that way, which will in turn allow people to decipher their bullshit in their games and not fall victim to their shenanigans. That's what they don't want. So don't think it's just about censoring truth. That's because I'm not saying everything I'm saying on this channel is 100% true. Like a lot of shit I say is 100% true to me, but some people may not apply to. But certain ways I taught, if you guys really learn from my channel, it's going to teach you how to use your mind and think, not just the information, but how I'm able to decipher shit. And once you're able to decipher it and bring that energy into your own mind and use it in your own life, you'll be able to decipher the codes and come up to conclusions that you didn't have to research or ask anybody, because you're able to read through the blueprints. They don't want that, because if everyone was able to do that, then this shit will be torn the fuck down overnight. Because when this system collapsed, it's gonna, like, if when this system collapses, it could be it could be an overnight thing. It's not something that's gonna take years or months. It could be it's gonna be an overnight thing if people wake up, and then everything's gonna be forced to change. So they don't want that, because because it's already kind of happening, because you see all these content creators making videos and shit, and we already seen what happened with the pandemic and all that bullshit. That shit didn't go as planned. So it's kind of working. So they're really trying to censor people here. Like my other video I was speaking about in the beginning of this live stream. I'm gonna post a video. I'm gonna post a link to that video in my communities tab after I'm done with this live stream. And the only reason I'm gonna do that is because they sent me an email stating that that video is no longer viewable to under 18. And this is 2 months after I dropped the fucking video. So why are you still badgering me about this video? That's because there's something in that video they don't like. And this is the same fucking video that they literally, after I ended that live stream on November 14, 2023. Yeah, I remember dates. On that live stream date, I remember after I ended that live stream, couple hours later, these bitch ass niggas send me an email stating that your channel is not, it's going, I don't even know what the fuck it said. It was like, because they can't demonetize me because I'm not monetized, but it was like they demonetized me without demonetizing me. They said your video is going to be put less on the algorithm where you won't get as much views. Some other bullshit. I'll drop the email again. It's fucking retarded. You guys, I actually have the email on my communities tabs. If you scroll down to November 14th or 15th, you'll see it. They were really on some bullshit. So they were I don't know. Something I said in that video they really don't like, because they're still giving me sweat on that video till this day. So they really didn't like that video. But that video right there is examples of what I was saying. Like, they don't like the information, so they'll censor it. And what I was saying in that video is kind of what I was just saying right now. So they want everybody talking from the Masonic blueprint. What the Masonic blueprint is, everything that is 99.9% of the shit you see on the internet. So pretty much everything you see on the internet, with a few exceptions of a few channels, that's all Masonic blueprint. So I don't care what it is, it's Masonic blueprint. Even the health aspect, it's Masonic blueprint, because they'll tell you need for healing, you need to go there. They had Dr. Sebi, which I'm not hating on Dr. Sebi, but they put Dr. Sebi up there because what Dr. Sebi was saying was truthful in terms of you can heal your body through herbs, common fucking sense, eating healthy, doing herbs. But what they used him they promoted him to get people relying on the external to heal themselves, not knowing all you need is yoga, fasting, and qigong to really heal yourself. You don't need any of that bullshit. But since people are lost in their desires, which brings me to my first point, everyone is rationalizing using esoteric knowledge. Remember, I was saying using esoteric spiritual knowledge. Oh, it's okay to eat herbs and stuff because you don't need to fast. We need to eat, but watch them go and ban a herb. There's hundreds of herbs that aren't even allowed in the US. If you go to another country and come to the US, they'll arrest you for bringing certain herbs here. You want to blame them? Oh, look what they're doing. They're trying to keep us from, no one's keeping you from healing. You can fast, do qigong and yoga. The fuck? They don't want to, they don't see you. Do you see what I'm saying? So they promote Dr. Sebi, not because what he was saying was wrong per se, but they got people focusing on the external. Now, if you look at Dr. Sebi's product, this nigga charges like $1,200 for a herbal remedy kit tincture with some fucking water and some orange juice, some stupid shit. $1,000, $900. Get the fuck out of here, nigga. You know I'm not paying that shit. Straight up fucking hustling. Like, I don't want to say it's snake oil, but it's fucking kind of like that type of energy. Like, why it doesn't cost that fucking much money, and what the fuck is in that shit? And I don't see nobody really fucking healthy. Like, unless that shit can make somebody live to like 150, like I don't see nobody living that old from that shit. Or even the people, like, even when I go, because you guys don't understand, I'm in these pranic breatharian type groups. I'm not engaging with them, but I just like to see what they do, and I learn from everything. So I'd be in these groups, and one thing I know is every single person that practices prana, and I critique people. So for me to actually give credit, I'm telling the truth. I'm not gonna just kiss ass for no reason. When I'm in these prana, and these people in these prana groups, they're fucking retarded spiritually. Like, they don't really know shit. When I'm in these fucking groups, like, all of them have a certain healthy vibe and look that I don't see in people who just eat fruit and vegetables. I noticed that. And these people, they don't eat shit. And if they do, they may be on liquidarian at the very least. Or, yeah, mainly, that's it. And the ones who are on liquidarian, who don't, they have a healthy vibe and a healthy fucking look to them. I don't see that in people who just follow Dr. Sebi's diet and shit. A lot of these, because when you eat fruits and vegetables and herbs, that shit causes mucus. I went on a 10-day fast and I broke it with some watermelon, and I was coughing up fucking mucus. I was eating fruit. That's what I'm telling you guys. I was eating fruit. I wasn't eating because I've broken 10-day fasts and I've eaten unhealthy shit and I had mucus, but I used to think, oh, it was just because I was eating something unhealthy. But no, that wasn't the case. It was because it was because I'm consuming food. So everything has mucus in it. Even the fucking herbs he talks about, there's no mucus is the number one cause of disease, but the shit that he's telling people to eat and consume have mucus in it. And I'm not saying it's about getting rid of mucus, because it's like, to be honest, it is about getting rid of mucus. But if you're a breatharian, you don't need mucus because your body's always healing. If you're eating and you're consuming, you need mucus so it can regulate your digestive system on all that shit. So you need mucus if you're eating. If you're not eating, you don't need it. That's why when you don't eat, you don't have mucus. People say, oh, mucus is a disease. And no, you need mucus. If you're eating every fucking day, you need fucking mucus. Otherwise, your food will get stuck and it's not going to digest properly. When you're on breatharian path, you're not eating, you don't have mucus. So this is why when I fasted and I broke my fast, I ended up coughing up mucus and shit. Because you don't need it. And I'm not saying it's anything wrong. I'm not, because all you guys think I'm hating on Dr. Seb. I'm not hating on him, because what he healed people. His eating herbs and eating healthy can't heal you. If you're a fat fucking and you suck down 20 pancakes and eggs every fucking day of your damn life, and you switch over and transition to fruits and herbs, obviously you're going to become healthier, because you're not eating healthy. You're eating healthier. Eating healthy is not fucking eating. It's breath work and pranic living, what they call it. That's eating healthy, because a breatharian eats, but they're eating pranic energy. And you don't just eat from your mouth. They tell you what you watch is what you eat, what you see is what you, they tell you that. So what do you think these breatharians, when they're doing these energy exercises and they're doing they're doing all these exercises that have to do with sight, movement, and all that, they're eating. And your spiritual community will tell you that eating is not just with foods, is what you watch, what you see. So a breatharian is watching things such as maybe they sun gaze, or maybe they do energy work, maybe they do yoga. That's forms of eating. So they're eating that shit. But that food doesn't cause mucus. That's healthy eating. The healthier eating is fruits, vegetables, herbs, and all that. Herbs, I would not hit on, or herbs. If let's just say you're sick, you have an infection, or you have a virus, or you tooth infection, take some herbs. I'm not saying don't take herbs. Obviously, you can fast and heal that, but some people, they live a hectic lifestyle. They got to go to their bum ass 9 to 5. They got some ugly bastard ass children they got to take care of, so they need that energy, so they can't go on a fast. So I understand that. So this is what herbs are for. Take herbs for that. But don't make herbs a reliant thing you're taking every fucking day of your life. That's fucking retarded. You don't need to do that shit. Why you're supposed to transition too fast? Everything is a transition. When you're eating healthy, that's a transition. Because when you're eating healthy, like fruits and vegetables and herbs, this is cleansing your body. So in a matter of months or maybe years, you're of that cleanse, you should be able to get off that. Because it's hard to go from straight breatharianism to liquid from when you're eating solid, unhealthy shit. But if you transition and eat healthy, it's a stepping stone. So this is where I'm not hating on Dr. Sebi on that extent, because he had it right. But to make people think that's the end goal, that's not the end goal. And not only that, is you still have to go out and spend $1,000 on his fucking healing tincture set that he charges and shit. You gotta then spend, so you gotta find the money to get that. And then you gotta hope that there's no regulations from the government or the health department that say that these herbs are unhealthy and we can't sell them. You gotta hope they don't bring some shit, because if that's the case, they're gonna just ban it. And not only that, the ingredients and the products of everything in society is declining. I got a yoga strap. This fucking yoga strap I got. Remember that blue, what the fuck is it? That blue yoga strap. What the fuck is my yoga strap? Right here. This blue yoga strap. I went to the store in 2021. I had got this same yoga strap, the same brand, everything in 2021. I had it since 2021. I ended up losing it in November of last year. I ended up losing the other strap, and I had that strap for almost 3 years. I did not want to get rid of that strap because I was like, this strap is good quality. It's strong and it's durable, and it was big, and it was the same brand, same price. It was, and I was like, if I went and got the same strap, it's gonna be shitty. I told people that, people in my family, I told some people I know, and then they laughed at me and shit. And literally, I lost the fucking yoga strap in November, and I just bought one a few weeks ago, and this shit is flimsy as fuck. It's the same brand, the same fucking exact one, everything. It looks the same as my other one, but it feels flimsy and it's smaller because the ingredients are getting they're deliberately making the products shittier. They're doing it deliberately. So this is why, like with the herbs, and like the herbs that you're getting at Walmart or Target or at these places, they're not the same quality as they were years ago. The quality is diminished greatly. The only time you'll probably get some good quality is if you spend top dollar and go to these premium websites and spend like $100 plus, because you're actually getting the real herb. Because the people who run this shit, they're like manipulating the financial markets and the trade and the resource development and all that, and the whole price discovery, all this shit, they're manipulating all that. So it's forcing the manufacturers to have to scale back on the quality of their products just to keep up with the expense. So don't you, if they're doing this with this, don't you think they're doing it with the food and the herbs? So eventually it's going to get to a point where you're going to have to grow your own herb, because a lot of these products, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but what I'm thinking is, in the next few years, there's going to be a lot of products that you see on the shelves today that you're not going to see in the future, because it's only going to be so long before they have to get rid of stuff. So eventually you may not see fucking like something on the shelf that you see every day, or it may be a shitty ass quality. That's where all the quality of everything is going down, because they're deliberately fucking with the shit. So this is all the reason to be on this path to breatharianism. And not everybody is meant for this path. So I'm not saying that, because it's like at the end of the day, like I'm not saying like you got to take care of your health, because this is not just for living forever. I'm not being a breatharian to live forever and to live all that shit. Because at the end of the day, you choose when you fucking can die, to be honest. If you're really spiritual and you're really doing the energetic work, you could actually choose when you die, and you don't have to die through an accident or a disease. You can actually die through deep meditation, depending on what you've done. And if you completed certain things that you're supposed to complete, you can actually go out that way. So we can die any fucking time whenever we're done, if you're really on that spiritual shit. I'm not saying it's gonna happen to everyone, but it can happen, and it is a thing. Don't think it is not a thing. Don't let anybody tell you it isn't a thing. So always keep that in the back of your mind, that you don't have to go out like they tell you, a disease or an accident. You can go out through some type of deep meditation, or maybe in a peaceful way where you chose that and shit in your sleep, and you having a dream, and in your dream you're experiencing a certain reality, and you just stay in that reality, and you don't come back to this one, and you, in this reality, your body died. That is a fucking thing. So always keep that in mind. So kind of lost what I was going at, but you just want to be self-sustainable. Always be, so not just financially. A lot of people, I want to be financially free, but you also want to be like free from a point where you don't need. Which is better, to need and desire something, or to not desire, need something, but you can still do that thing and have fun. Like imagine smoking a blunt, and I'm not saying go and do this, but imagine smoking a blunt and not needing to get high, but you're doing it to have fun, and you could put it down and not smoke in 30 years, versus you need to smoke and you're addicted to it, or you need to eat every day because you're hungry. But or the other part where I just said, where you can eat, but you're eating on your own return, your own accord. You're not eating because you feel like you need to. So I'm not saying get rid of desires. You can still have them in terms of doing it, but it's not really a desire. You're just doing it for the experience, to have fun. Because it's all a drug. All of that shit is a drug. All of that shit. All that shit they tell you, the herbs, food, anything your body can consume is a drug. Always keep that in. Somebody asked me, do I play Final Fantasy? I don't play that shit. Even when I did play video games, I fucking hated Final Fantasy. I hate anime. I fucking hate it. I don't watch anime. I hate anything with anime in it. Maybe it's some anime porn. I don't know. We could talk about that, but ain't no fucking anime. Ain't no cartoon. Fuck that shit. I don't watch no fucking anime. But yeah, food is a fucking drug. Food is a fucking drug. If you can't give up food, shut the fuck up about drug addiction and porn addicts. I see a lot of people, they talk about people who are addicted to drugs, or people who are porn addicts. And the way I look at it is like, if you can't give up eating for 4 or 5 days, you have no business talking shit about somebody who's a drug addict. And then you'll be saying, and then people will come at me, because I know what a lot of you guys are thinking. Well, we need to eat. If I don't eat, I'm gonna get sick. You're right, and I agree with you. So saying that, every meal that you eat from now on, and this is the only way I'll give you a free pass. Every meal you eat from now on has to be raw vegetables and fruit. If you can't do that, you're a drug addict. So go ahead, eat. I'm not hating, but why not eat raw veggies and fruit every day for the rest of your life? No, you can't, because it doesn't taste good. It's not satiating. So it's a drug. You see how I did that? You see how I did that? You can have that saying that, oh, we need to eat. You can have that. I give you that. But can you eat raw vegetables and fruit and that's it? No, you can't. You're gonna want Snickers. You're gonna want some cake. You're gonna want some peach cobbler or whatever shit you niggas eat. Some like steak and bell pepper rice. You're gonna want some food with carbs and meat and sugar and shit. So that's telling me that it is a drug. Because if it wasn't, you'll just eat fucking fruit, vegetables. So like I said, if you eat food and you can't go to raw vegan vegetables and all that, you have no right talking down upon somebody who's a drug addict. You have no right. It's funny, a lot of these people who be talking down about drug addicts, their life is more miserable than a drug addict. Because you get two people, get a drug addict and get somebody who's not a drug addict. Both of them aren't on a spiritual path. So right off the bat, they both going to hell. At least the drug addict, he's high all day. The motherfucker who's not on drugs, 9 out of 10 times, they work a job they hate. They got to go wake up in the morning. Most of their life is spent working. They're probably like 40 some, and the last 20 some years of their life is spent working. They probably only have the weekends off for the last 20 years of their life. Their whole life, when you look back, is trash. The addict, at least he was high on drugs and he was out of the world and in his own mind and shit. But at the same time, they both going to hell because they're not on no spiritual path. So at least the addict, nigga, shit, he's having a good time. Your ass is miserable, stress, all for what? At least if you're working that job to save money, to build yourself up, and you have spiritual intentions, at least you have that. Then I wouldn't even compare you to the addict. I wouldn't even compare you to somebody who isn't an addict, because you're on a higher level. But if you're not if you don't have no spiritual intention, and the homeless bum who's on drugs, or not even a homeless, just a nigga who's on drugs, they want to act like, people want to act like this person's better because it's like, no, nigga, that's not how it works. Your life is miserable because what are you doing? If you look, because a lot of people, like, they'll sit here and be like, oh, I work for a living, or I do this. But when I look at them, I'm looking at, like, it'll be a 40-year-old man and he'll be like, I work for a living. You don't work yet. You're this. And they think that that's a flex. But I'm looking at them like, nigga, you 40 years old. If I look throughout your whole 30s, throughout your whole 20s, 5 days a week, you were at somewhere you did not like just for you to be free on the weekends. You did that for 20 years of your life. That's fucking trash. I'm looking at hindsight. I'm not looking at right now and what you think is going to happen, because what you think is going to happen is never going to happen. You think you're going to have enough money to relax and retire. That shit ain't ever going to happen. And by the time you retire, because they time it. They time it. This is why they give you Medi-Cal or Medicaid at age 65, because by the time you're 65, you start having all the health issues coincidentally around the time you retire. So by the time you retire, you're sick and you can't even fucking do shit. And you can't even find enjoyment. So that's when they get you for retirement. But that whole retirement is not even fucking working out, because even people who want to retire, they can't even retire due to inflation. So when I see a nigga that's talking all this bullshit, I'd be like, I look at like where have you been? What have you done? And all I can see is you wasted your 30s, you wasted your 20s. That's hell. That's what I'm looking at. So nobody can get me with that. Oh, I'm working some 9 to 5 and you need to start working. Why? So I could be miserable like you? I remember somebody told me, you need to go they told me years ago, you need to go work and find some employment. And I'm like, so I could be miserable like you? Like, you're fucking miserable. If you weren't, you wouldn't be trying to tell people to go be like you. The fuck? You see a lottery winner? Do you see somebody who became successful telling somebody you need to be like me? You may see these financial people they're making a living selling a course, which that doesn't count because they're making money doing it. But when it's something that's miserable that nobody wants to do, then they'll tell you to go and do that. Like, bitch, you don't know shit about money. You're not no millionaire. You don't have no retirement savings. You don't have if you're an old fuck, you don't have no retirement savings. You don't have nothing. You don't have no investments. You don't know how to make money in the market. You don't know how to do shit financially, but you want to give me financial advice and tell me to go get a job somewhere. Because telling somebody to get a job is financial advice, for all you guys who didn't know. How are you going to tell me to get a financial advice if your situation ain't shit? You living in a Section 8 housing, they paying a quarter of your rent, because if without the Section 8 housing, you wouldn't even be able to afford that place. So they're paying a quarter of your rent, and you want to tell me to go get a job where you can't even pay full rent without Section 8 housing. Get the fuck out of here. That's how these dumbass niggas operate. They'll tell you stupid shit like this. And I'm like, don't tell me that shit, nigga. And even if I were to become homeless, I'm more powerful of a spirit than you. You're not like me. So I could be on the street homeless, getting my leg chopped off. I bet you we could be both homeless, getting our leg chopped off. I bet you'll be in more pain than me. I bet you'll yell louder than me. Even though we'll both be yelling in pain, you're going to yell louder than me. I bet you if I'm homeless, I'll be able to be happier and have more moments of peace than you. You'll be stressed out. Oh, I gotta do the fuck is I'm a stronger spirit. I don't need this shit. Fucking dumbass. Motherfuckers, they want to project their shit onto you. Like they're miserable. They're scared. They're in fear. Then they want to project it onto you. Then when you don't want to take on those responsibilities of their fear and their insecurities, then they want to talk shit and demean you to try to make you feel that fear and insecurity. They'll first they'll try to make you feel it by projecting it onto you. Oh, you should feel that. You should do that. You should get this. But when you say, I don't want that, then they'll talk shit about you and make fun of you and do things to make you feel like, oh, it's like in their mind, they're like, oh, he didn't feel it. He didn't feel the insecurity and the fear I was trying to project. And this is all subconsciously. He didn't feel the fear and the insecurity I'm trying to project by me telling him. Well, I'm going to make him feel it by talking down upon him. But the thing is, you can't do that with me because, like I said, I'm a more powerful spirit. So therefore, whatever you say, it doesn't affect me like that. And you're glad it doesn't affect me because if it was to affect me, I will probably hurt you. Like the dude yesterday, right? At the store, at the Walgreens I was at when I was stealing like some shit because I don't want to get into my bit, but I was stealing some shit and I was gonna go like because somebody in my family I needed to get him something and well, it was my mom. She wanted me to get her some shit, and because she know I be stealing, she don't give a fuck. She knows I be stealing it, so I stole her some shit, and because she wanted it, right? And she's like, "Can you buy it for me?" I was like, "Yeah, I could buy it. I just don't want to buy it though." So she's like, "Just steal that shit." That's what she says. She's like, "Just steal that shit." So when I was stealing the shit, the digger, he was, fuck. What was I talking about? Damn, I forgot what I was talking about, but it probably wasn't important. But you guys get what I'm saying, man. Like motherfuckers ain't shit in this world. Motherfuckers ain't shit. If I remember, then they'll come back to me. But somebody said, "How are you paying rent right now?" I saved up a lot of money and I'm paying rent right now, and I'm paying my uncle $500. I have a lot of money I have saved up from investments, from crypto, and I was doing a lot of other shit. Yeah. I also have certain ways I'm like making money, but I don't really want to disclose that in here. Yeah, I'm not trying to disclose everything because you don't know who's watching. I'm not trying to get I don't steal like I used to steal no more. I don't do that shit. I have other ways to make money, but I'm not about to disclose what that is on this channel because I don't know who the fuck is watching this channel. And yeah, but yeah, don't worry about how I make money. Just know that I get what I need. I get what I need at the moment. I don't get what I want per se right now, but I get exactly what the fuck I need. Just know that. So yeah, but I'm trying to remember what the fuck I was saying. I had a fucking point. I had a good point. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying. But let me read some of these comments. So you were talking about the boys wanting you to be like them. Yeah, people want you to be. I had another point though. It was when I was saying something before I got into the point when I was talking about I went to the store to go. Damn, my bad. Because my mind be all over the place. I have a lot of points that I really want to get to right now. So my mind be all over the place. But yeah, shut up about drug addicts and or porn addicts if you still eating and you can't get and you can't transition over to raw foods and vegan diet. If you can't do that, then shut the fuck up about that. And then another one is a question I get a lot. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you, Jackie. That's exactly what I was gonna say. The dude at the store, right? He was talking about what are you gonna do? Are you gonna assault me? Because he was in my way, and he wanted me to assault him so he could call the police, and then they could try to make it a worse thing. So I was like, get the fuck out of my way. And then he grabbed this shit from my hand, and then there was a soda there, and I shook it and I sprayed it on him, it kind of got on him, but he was like, "You want to assault me? You want to assault me?" And I told him like, "Dude, I don't assault people. Like I assault people, but when I assault people, it's with the weapon. I don't because me only time I fight is if I'm locked up in prison or I'm in a setting where I have to fight. I don't care if you a fucking child that's half my size. If you coming at me and we're not in a closed setting like prison or a situation where I have to fight, I'm gonna fucking use weaponry. So I'm gonna get my bear spray, I'm gonna get my strap, or I'm gonna get my knife, or I'm gonna get my bat or some blunt object like a baton. Or I'm gonna get something to assault you with. So nigga, you don't want to be assaulted by me, because if you were assaulted by me, nigga, you would be on the ground screaming in pain, and I would have been out of the store running for my life. So before the cops came. So that's literally what I told him. He's like, "Oh, you gonna assault me?" I'm like, "Nigga, if I want to assault you, I'll go to my car and I'll go get my thing. I'll go get my thing if I want to assault you." And I'm not saying it was a gun, but whatever I needed to handle that situation, I'm gonna go get it. Because at the end of the day, why am I at a risk fighting, getting my clothes dirty, and shit? If you a bigger nigga than me, getting my ass fucking knocked. Because at the end of the day, if you bigger than me and you can fight me, because I can't win every fight. If you bigger than me and you knock me out or you punch me in the face, you better paralyze me or kill me. Because if you don't paralyze me or kill me, I'm gonna come at you. And if I can't come at you, I'm gonna come after your children or your mother or somebody that you care about. If I can't get you, and I'm gonna get them. So if you're gonna fight me and you bigger than me, and I'm not nobody who starts trouble. This is only for motherfuckers who want to start that bullshit. You know those niggas who be on that bullshit. I'm not talking about I'm just gonna go out there and just be. I'm not nobody looking for trouble. I don't provoke people, and I don't do that at all. I'm one of the most peaceful people. So this is why when I say this, you guys may think I'm coming up hard, but you guys don't understand. Certain spirits, you have to come hard. A lot of stuff. That's a lot of the things that the New Age community they don't talk about. The New Age community, what they will say is you need to be nice and loving to everyone, or everybody you need to reason with. Teach them the truth. You can't do that with everyone. Some people are incapable of getting the truth. Some spirits are so much in their ego, the truth to them is whooping their ass. There's some people I can see by their energy that if I deal with like some people, I can look at them and be like, if this individual were to get out of line, I could just drop some spiritual jewels or some gems and talk about astrology, and I can put this person in a better mood. Some people, when you say shit like that, they will throw it away and laugh at you and spit in your face. Those type of spirits, those spirits can still learn, just like the other spirit can learn of me talking spiritual. We all can learn, but this spirit who's stubborn and is in his ego, he has to be learning. He has to learn from an assault or from an attack or from you hurting something in his life or taking something from him, like stealing something, or you got to hurt them through physical means because there's so much in their ego. You have to hurt something physical, whether that means break a leg or take some money from them or damage their car, because that's what's going to get to their brain. Every spirit has the ability to learn, but you can't force a spirit to do anything. And the closest you can do to force a spirit is putting them into a fear traumatic state. So a stubborn fucking spirit who doesn't want to learn, I can't force him to learn, but I could put him in a state that's going to get him to learn quicker. So that's why I come out this way, because certain people don't think that everybody is all loving and light and you could just talk spiritual to everybody. Some people you need to put in that work, and you need to do that thing to them that a lot of people may look down upon or society may look down upon. But at the same time, you should even structure and put yourself in a position to be around those type of spirits. You should have the discernment to know that's a spirit that if I'm around him, he's going to do something that's going to bring something out, and I'm going to end up hurting him and possibly going to jail. You see what I'm saying? So you have to, I know that. I can see based on how a person looks that I won't fuck with them based upon they may bring something out and I may do something and I'm going to end up going to jail. Like I remember back in the day when I was in high school, motherfucker kept running his goddamn mouth. He wouldn't shut the fuck up. And I remember he always used to say shit, but I didn't do nothing. But one day he threw a cinnamon bun at me, and I don't like the smell of cinnamon. especially on me. I hate that fucking smell. It smells nasty and shit. So he threw it on me, and when he threw it, I had a cup of hot ramen noodle I was going to go eat, and then I threw it, and then he dodged the first one, and then he was laughing at me like, "Oh, you missed," and then I just threw the rest in his face when he was off guard because it was a little bit in there, and he got 3rd-degree burns, and then they suspended me for 5 days. And the funny thing is that I put this on my soul. His own mother came into the office and shook my hand. She was like like a fucking Eastern European type woman or whatever. She was like some, I don't know, she's like Ukrainian, some Eastern European, and she had an accent. She's like, I know my son, he talks shit, and he gets loud and disrespectful, and she shook my hand. I didn't understand her accent, but the way she shook, and you know she was an American, because an American bitch, she would have been in her ego, like, oh, why you do that? But you could tell she was from another country because she had that understanding. And she's like, my son, he could do stuff like that, and I didn't understand her accent, but she shook my hand because what the energy I was feeling was the son be talking hella shit and doing a lot of shit back at the house. And since he's young, because we were in high school, so we were young, you can't just abuse a kid like that. So nobody wants to abuse children. So when that happens, you're like, the only intention the parent has is maybe somebody will beat his ass at school to teach him. And that I was like the person, that's how the energy I got, because she was like shaking my hand like he needed to learn. He can get disrespectful and shit. And it was funny. And everybody else was, even my own parents was mad at me. I remember my own relative, I'm not gonna say like people in my family, but my own relatives, they were upset. I remember they're like, why did you do it? And I said, I lied. This wasn't what happened, but I said he was talking shit about my mom. And then out of all things that this relative could have said, they were like, I don't believe you. You see what I'm saying? Like, it was shit like that. Like, it was weird. Like, I'm not trying to like talk down on anyone, but it just was weird how like I was getting the blame for that, like defending myself, and it was just really weird. That's what I'm saying, man. It's just, we live in a crazy world. And I was the one being blamed for it because I got suspended, which I understand getting suspended. But when I went home, I got yelled at and shit. And then even everybody in the class, because me and that dude, we had the same class. And then everybody in the class was like, oh, why did you do that and shit? And like making me look fucking like. And the dude was crying too. He was fucking crying. And it was weird because this nigga will fucking, he will talk. He was the most shit talker, loud mouth. You wouldn't even think in your mind this guy will ever cry. And he was crying. But when I look back, I'm like, we were in high school. We were just children. So it makes sense why he was crying. You see what I'm saying? Like, because like then I was like, what the fuck is he crying? But I'm like, it's a fucking kid. I fucking splashed some hot ass. Imagine like you boiling some noodles and you just took it out the microwave. You see how hot? You don't even want to put it in your mouth. Threw that shit on his fucking face. And they said he had 3rd-degree burns or some shit. But that nigga, he was on some bitch ass nigga shit. But yeah, like, it's just a lot of shit that I could tell you guys stories for days, but I really don't want to get into stories because it really ain't even important. Like, the illusion ain't important. The energy is important. The energy is what I talk about. The illusion is just fucking, it's the illusion. Okay. I'm trying to see what other points I had. I probably gotta end this video or make some more, but I'll probably go on for a little bit. I got like 12% left on my phone. Yeah. Already talked about that. All females are useless men. Act like men. Okay, why everybody is obsessed with New Age Egyptian government witchcraft. Yeah, that's a lot of things. You're gonna see that a lot. There's a lot of people that are into this whole Egyptian. This goes to my Masonic blueprint program. You guys got to understand, anytime you see anything like Egypt or anything with New Age and the Galactic Federation, all of this shit, you guys got, I'm not saying that they're fake, like they don't exist. Like, Egypt existed, but as what people talk about it, that's not what it is.
The Galactic Federation, that is a thing, but like people talk about it in the New Age, it doesn't exist. So I'm not saying these things are fake. I'm saying the Masonic blueprint, because in all totality, none of this shit it means shit to your spirit. Your spirit has nothing to fucking do with no Anunnaki, no Egyptian, no fucking galactic all that stupid shit. Your spirit has nothing to do with. What the New Age they do is they try to make it and form it that to make you think that your spirit has to do with it. I've even seen some of these niggas go as far as Donald Trump, saying that Donald Trump is an awakened one and he was sent to infiltrate the government. Like, I kid you the fuck not. Like, oh my goodness. When I seen that, I was literally like, I had like a mixed emotion. I was angry, I was laughing, had laughter, anger, confusion. I was like, what the fuck is going on with this world? Like, this bitch really just said that Donald Trump is an awakened one, whatever the fuck an awakened one is, for which that's a fucking Masonic blueprint, is an awakened one that is sent to infiltrate the government. So right then and there is what made me raise my red flags to be like, okay, this is that Masonic blueprint. And this is why do you think they made Donald Trump talk the shit that he talks and acts the way he acts? Because before Donald Trump, nobody took politicians that serious, because we had the Bush and Al Gore era. Everybody was really invested into it. Then once we got into like after the Obama era, like, because Obama, he was a black president, because they have to do something to get people interested. They had Trump, Al Gore, which was like the normal bullshit they had, which was like, it was normal. It was, even though it wasn't normal compared to the shit show they got going on right now, it was normal. But then after that, they had to put a black person to make people invested, especially minorities and so-called minorities and black people or people that look like me. They have to make them stay invested. So they put that black person to keep you invested. Then it was Trump. They made Trump talk shit like he's just like some troll on the internet that just says whatever he wants. And he has billions of dollars, so nobody can control him. Like, even though he is controlled, but they make him say that. So they do that to get certain audiences. So now, where we're at right now, those programs really don't work, because black people don't give a fuck about that stupid nigger Obama. We don't care about him. Donald Trump, a lot of the people are waking up from that. So what they're saying, what they're doing right now is they're making a bunch of stupid laws and passing a bunch of laws and making things a certain way and trying to divide. Like, they'll have a celebrity talk shit about a certain narrative, and anybody who talks about that narrative is considered Republican. So they have it in a way where it's not even about what president you're choosing. It's about what's your political background. So if you're against crime, everyone's going to look at you as Republican, even though it's not even nothing to do with that. But even the Republicans who are against crime, they even believe that if you're against crime, you're a Republican, because that's how fucking stupid. They don't understand. We just don't like crime. So they have it divided where based on what you have an idea in the reality and what your beliefs are. If you like to drive this car, oh, you drive a Tesla, you're a liberal, or you drive a Dodge Ford, or you're a Republican. They have shit like that. So right now, this is their program, because their shit's drying up. So they have to try to make it where simple decisions that choices people make have something to do with their political background. And this is how you know that their shit is fucking dying, because they can't. It's not just the people. They did the Obama shit, they did the Trump shit. Now they got to do. They got to go deeper into it. So now everybody's arguing. Like, it's even to a point where every time somebody sees the price of something goes up, they'll talk about how it's Biden and it's liberals. And it's like, you fucking idiot. It's beyond that. So this shit is crazy. This is, I tell you, the witchcraft and the Masonic blueprint programming it's very, very deep, especially right now. And we're going into election year. So don't be surprised if they do something very different with this election. They're going to do something very different. They may even set up a narrative where I wouldn't even be surprised they do something like somebody's going to, well, let's just say the Republican, he's winning. And everybody's like, oh, because they're trying to make everybody a Republican. because because if enough people are Republicans, then they can change certain rules and laws on a collective level. They can't really do it yet because they got to make everyone. So this is why they're bringing in crime. Like you see a lot of places like in California and New York, there's like an increase in crime. That's done deliberately. So especially California, they really want to fuck with California because this is why all the businesses are leaving California. The reason that all the businesses are leaving California is because they're passing regulation and laws within California to get everybody out. Because to be honest, the best place to open a business and to make the most money is California. Hence why they're attacking it and making it so hard to open a storefront or a business out here and taxing people because they know it's the best. So they want everybody out because it's the most lucrative place to make money and the weather's good and it's the most, like in terms of, so they want people to move the fuck out so they can't really make money. And so the corporate can come in and take everything. So they're changing literally every fucking thing, and they're putting politics within it. So this election, they're gonna pass certain laws, they're gonna do certain things so they can get people to be Republican and to vote for the Republican Party, even though none of it matters. It's all bullshit. They just want people to vote Republican so they can have a reason to clean up certain things, especially with the crime, because they're deliberately making the crime go up. Because every time you see crime increase, it's because they're allowing it. Because if that wasn't the case, then the crime will be bad everywhere. Because criminals, they don't have a set spot they live in. Criminals can go anywhere. So why are criminals only gravitating to certain areas and not other areas? It's because if you go out to, like a lot of people say, there's a lot of crime out here where I live in California or whatever, but not really. Because if you go up north, like you're going towards Reno and you go to those small cities, they'll fucking lock your ass up for just stealing some little bullshit, or even like it depends on where you're at. So this tells you it's all fake. It's not real. So they want the crime to go up. So once the crime goes up, it's like a traumatic programming. You're traumatizing the people. So many people, because there's a lot of people out here where I stay, they businesses get ran up in. Every day people get followed home from the bank. Niggas will spot somebody at the bank, follow their ass home, and then go up in their house and take everything they got and shit, and even their car. Like shit like that happens like every fucking day. And if you go to the certain cities that have it, it's hella weird because the police presence is like, it's just hella weird. And then you go to certain cities within the same state, that shit is on lock. Like niggas know not to come to this city to fuck with shit. So they're doing this, tells you they're doing this shit on fucking purpose. So when they do it on purpose, it traumatizes the collective. So now they can bring in RoboCop. Now they can bring in mass surveillance. Now they can bring in all this type of AI technology to find out when you fucking took your last breath and all this weird shit, so they can really put a hamper on this. And when they bring it, nobody's gonna complain because they're gonna be like, well, we went through all this bullshit and look at all this crime, so we need it. So this is why they're doing that. And it all plays into the whole election thing. Like they're also gonna do some shit with this election that's gonna add to that programming and trauma. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but I wouldn't be surprised if they have like somebody who's supposed to be a Republican winning, and then they make the other party win, and then it looks like it's unfair, and it gets people upset just to have people more rallied up or whatever. Like they're gonna do some other bullshit. I don't know what's gonna happen, but they're gonna do something. Or maybe they won't do anything, because you guys got to understand a lot of the shit that they do is based on the reaction of what we're doing. So if they see too many people talking about something, then they won't even do that most of the time, unless it's something that they need to do. This is why you'll see some of these people say this is going to happen. Like I heard they say Donald Trump is going to be the next president. And this is Donald Trump is the last president. And they'll say all this dumb shit. And some of the shit is fake. But some of the shit could be true, but then they switch it up because they're like, okay, people are onto it. We got to go differently, because just like we watch them, they watch YouTube. Just like we watch them, they watch YouTube. So you guys are thinking that they're coming up with their conclusions on how to manipulate society on their own accord, whereas they look at YouTube and the audience and people and see where we're at mentally, and then that's what makes their next move. So this is why I say they're not really fully in control of everything. That why you think before you needed to get that to go to work, and now you don't need to get it, is because they gauged the reaction of this society, and they knew people were not having it. Even the stupidest, dumbest of the dumb, they weren't having it. They weren't giving their kids that. So they couldn't even do that. So imagine if we can take that and bring it on a higher level, how much we can get done, how much shit can change in this fucking world. They don't want that shit. I'm telling you. But I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna end this live stream. I have like 7% left, and I want to see if there's anything I missed. I was gonna. A lot of people be asking me about FAP and no FAP and all that other shit. I was gonna get into that. I don't know if I really want to get into that. I really don't give a fuck. I don't know why people talk about no. I really don't give a fuck about no FAP. If you have a problem doing that, then maybe you need to do no FAP. Just like if you're a drug addict and you have a problem smoking the fucking pipe, you need to stop doing that. You need to do no pipe. Just like no FAP, you can do no pipe. Me, I'm doing no food. Nigga, I'm fucking breatharian. So whatever that you need to not be doing, add a no in front of it and then do that. So that's all I really have to say about no FAP. I really don't. I said if you can't give up food for 20 days, yeah. But at the same time, it's like it is what it is. I don't really fucking that's never really been an issue to me. That's never been an issue. But if it is an issue, then that's an issue for you, and maybe you need to do that. Which at the same time, there's nothing wrong with that. If you need to do that, then do that. And you'll be a better person at the end of the end of that, whatever you're going through. And the last thing I want to say is do not value anything too much. Do not value anything too much, whether it be a person, place, thing, idea. Do not value it too much, because one thing I've noticed is when you value something too much, the spirit will create a situation to make you either not value that thing or make you not be able to get value from it, or like it will create a situation where, because it's trying to teach you that you don't need any of this shit. Because every time I'll be like, oh, this is my favorite show, this is my favorite food, this is my favorite thing to do, every single thing that I said was my favorite in my life, I can't speak for anyone but myself, but anything I said was my favorite and I love doing, I always ended up being put in a situation where I fucking did not like that thing anymore, whether I hated it or it didn't bring me value and joy, or it was to a point where I didn't even want to do it. Like I could do it, but I didn't want to do it. So you can't value anything too much. And I notice nowadays it's a lot quicker for me. Like if I find myself putting too much energy into something, it'll create a situation where I don't like that shit no more. Sometimes it'll create it where you don't have access to it. But sometimes if you have a lot of access to something and it's hard to take it away, it will make you not enjoy that. This is why you see a lot of rich people, they're miserable and they're depressed. Like I seen, what's that motherfucker? I see someone, like a lot of these niggas in Hollywood, they've been fucked with when they were young and been through a lot of shit, and they're not happy. You could just see it in their energy and their vibe. They're just not really happy. It's because they've been through a lot of shit, and a lot of these celebrities, they need to heal. And when you're a celebrity, you're around a lot of stupid ass people who agree with everything you have to say and make you look like you're something you're not. So you don't know what you need to work on in life, because nobody's telling you that. And if anybody tells a celebrity that, they look down upon them like, bitch, who are you? You ain't like me. You don't got money. So this is why a lot of celebrities, like, they're going to die in their own hell and they're all miserable. And then they just use their money to make them happy. But the thing is, when you use your money to make you happy, it will work at first, but there's no shortcuts. So eventually that thing that's bringing you pleasure is not going to bring you pleasure. And this is why a lot of these celebrities are either forced to heal themselves. So the celebrities you see that are like happy and seem sane, is because they actually done some level of healing. And the ones you see on drugs and depressed and always in these scandals, and is because they're using their money to try to fulfill a void, and it's not working. And when you use money to fulfill a void and it's not working, then this is what leads to hard drug abuse, because the drugs, even though the drugs can't fill a void, it's the best thing to fill a void compared to anything. When you have a lot of money, is hard drugs. It's the closest thing to fill it. Even though it doesn't fill it, it's the closest thing. So that's why you'll see a lot of them get into hard drugs. And you're like, why the fuck are they into hard drugs? Why can't they just do, like, they have this opportunity? No, the opportunity is your spiritual growth. Some people, they may be rich and their opportunity is spiritual growth, and spiritual growth means them going broke and giving up everything. So from the outside looking in, you're like, why would they ruin an opportunity? And they have all this money and all this, but in reality is like, they're not looking at it like that, because we're all on a spiritual mission. And if you're not doing your spiritual mission, you can have everything that looks good on the external, but it's still not going to bring you enjoyment. And when you do something against that, people look at that as rebellion, and you're losing an opportunity. Like that one basketball player that everybody was talking shit, like, why is he got to go hang out with these gang members, and he has a $50 million contract and he's letting them just throw? It's like, bitch, you never even been in that position, so you don't know. You never lived a life, a previous life where you had money, you don't know that. So you can't explain. You just think that they're ruining the opportunity where it's nothing like that. These motherfuckers just, this shit don't bring them status, because you can't cheat. If you haven't done the spiritual work, nothing external can bring you fulfillment. So a lot of these people, they come into a position, and the reason they came into that position was so they can use that money as a way to keep going. But instead, they use that money to just relax and have fun and just do whatever. And when you relax and have fun and you're not doing your purpose, then that's when the same things you're using to relax and have fun, it fucks with you. So this is why you see these celebrities, they get in scandals, they get in litigation, they may get fucking like just robbed, or something happens to them as a result of their money, because they're not doing the internal shadow work necessary. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna end this. I'm at like 3% right now. I don't want this shit to go off on me, but I'm gonna come back later for you niggas and drop some more shit. Yeah, hopefully YouTube don't be on that bullshit no more, and they'll keep this live up. But I'm gonna be out, guys. Peace.